Okay, trade recap for August 9th, 2024. So I am feeling like wild right now. My adrenaline was just like pumping crazy, and that hasn't happened in a long time. And I'll explain why. Starting off on the 24-hour chart, this is what today's candle is looking like so far. Nice little hammer candle. But before all of this, we're looking at this resistance right here and support, literally the open of Sunday's candle right here on the 24-hour chart. As you can see, it was a very good resistance support for us so far today. Again, I've been wanting to get long. We've been kind of battling over this daily 200 EMA level, and so far the bulls are really, this is like maybe the best chance time they've like tried to really push it out of here. We'll see where this closes in 3 hours. So that's the daily. I didn't want to force anything today, just kind of really wanted to be patient. At 9:06, I missed this 10 EMA setup. We were above this hourly 50 EMA, which means I can look for long. So I was looking for the 10 EMA setup where I wanted to get in above a new bear reset candle opening and closing above this 10 EMA, which is my light blue line here that you see. So I didn't see this, missed that. The other strategy that I've been sort of trying to implement is the 50, drag it all the way over. The 50 and the VWAP strategy, where you look for a strong move up or down, but in this case it was up, and then you want to let price pull back to the VWAP and the 50. They need to be pretty much close together, and you play the bounce up. So let me just kind of drag this window down a little bit. Before I was really looking at that though, I was just kind of watching price. We came down. I was like, I definitely don't want to short. This would be the first bull reset candle where people would get in below the low and put their stop, somewhere here. Didn't want to do that because, again, we were above the hourly 50 EMA. This really nice bear reset candle popped up, so that was my first trade. And at this point, on the VWAP, let me see, back here. Yeah, at this point on that VWAP strategy that I'm talking about, the indicators were too far away. We're making that strong move up, and I'm like, you know what, whatever. I'm just going to do the 10 EMA strategy. Now, I did have in mind, I said, if this doesn't work, I want to see what this VWAP strategy will look like as I get stopped out. So, it worked for a very little bit, and then we start coming down. And at this point, I'm like, okay, the VWAP and the 50 are coming together. Kind of had sort of a tight stop. Now, if I would have had a larger stop, so I could have put my stop actually on this first trade like down here, but you've been hearing me, and that would have worked out. Like, well, actually, I still would be in that trade, so I'm actually glad I kind of didn't do that. So from here, coming down, and then VWAP happened, I said, and then I was like toying with like getting right in after I got stopped out, but it took some time. It took some time for me to get stopped out. Like, I thought on this one, it was just going to, slice right through and stop me out, and it didn't. And I was like, okay, this is tough because I didn't get stopped out right here. And this is also where I pretty much would have entered the VWAP and 50 EMA strategy. So I was like, this is tough. What the heck do I do? So I was sort of waiting to get stopped out on this trade before I took the VWAP setup. So this big candle comes and it does stop me out. So now I'm like, okay, now the VWAP and the 50 are really close together. I hope you can kind of see that. And for a split second, I was like, well, so now would this be kind of bearish or bullish? If you look at my back trading video that I did on the strategy, I didn't back trade like this scenario yet. Because now I'm like, well, we could come down and this would be a strong move down. Maybe we can pull back up and we can short it down if the VWAP and 50 were closer together. But the thing that saved that was these, and if you can see, let me kind of zoom in. As we're coming down like that, the VWAP and the 50 EMA are getting kind of, now they're separating, so I was like, okay, that's fine. Coming down, and we see all this kind of like selling pressure here with these wicks, and I'm like, the bears are like, they're really trying right here, but they're not really getting anywhere. So that was kind of a telltale to me. If you see this blue line here, that was when I had set the VWAP order up. I ended up canceling it because after seeing like kind of all of this, because then I was like, well, I'll just wait for a 10 EMA setup. So after that, I just kind of stopped looking at that chart and focused here. This is the trade that my adrenaline was really running. So around this area, my favorite YouTube channel, it goes live, Real Life Trading. And Calvin Williams, that's the guy that's helped me so much with this 10 EMA strategy and the VWAP and the 50 strategy. He's live, and I'm just kind of listening to him, like kind of halfway paying attention, halfway not, because I'm also watching the charts. And then this really nice bear reset candle pops in. It closed right on the 10 EMA. I didn't say this. This is where my eval account was when this trade got stopped out. So there's that. I was looking at volume here. We had like this crazy kind of spike a little bit in bearish volume right here. These wicks are getting taken out. Like, we definitely are going to go up. Really nice hammer candle. I really liked that. So almost at the same time as Calvin is like talking and I'm hearing him, I'm setting this trade up right above that bear reset candle. And I put my stop up, below this hammer. I wanted to put it, safe distance from the hammer, because sometimes hammer candles, when you play them, like price will come down and fill some of the wick and then go back up. So I wanted to be kind of safe. But as I'm setting this order up and like have it entered, or like I'm getting entered right here, Calvin's like, oh my God, here's a nice 10 EMA setup. Y'all should, consider taking it. And I had said that I was in. He kind of thought my stop was a little too large when I told him what it was, but it is what it is. Again, I wanted to be kind of safe. At first, I had my target set to 1.3R. As I'm hearing him talk, and when he kind of realized my stop was big like this, his original stop was like right below the low of that hammer candle. So that was that. I wasn't thinking about what he talked about, and I need to give more thought to this when I'm trading. But this candle was huge bearish volume. This was not playing around. And he was like, oh, see, if I would have had my stop up, right there, that first 1.3 target would have, or 1.2 would have basically been right around like the high of this candle. And he had said, like, this is where bears are probably they'll try to defend this area here. Here, he said there's a lot of bears that have their stops here, from getting short from up here. So, but I don't know. That was okay. I just, I didn't adjust anything. I was already in, and I was like, if this is going to work, it's going to work. And once we get down to the, like, right above this candle where it got taken out, he said what you could do is to exit the majority of your position. Now, I've heard of people doing this. This is my first time doing this. How many micros you're in, take all of them out and leave one. Leave a runner, basically. and just move your stop up to the green and let it run for, for what we were targeting was the daily 10 EMA, which is this purple line, which is right about here. Let me mark this purple so you can kind of see. So let me get this back up. Yeah, so he said leave a runner and we'll target the daily 10 EMA, which is this purple line. That was the main goal. Now, as we're passing the high of day, so he's like, who's going to do this? Who's going to have the guts, basically, to leave a runner? I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it. And as we shoot up, I'm like, oh my God. So not only did I secure that 1.2 win, and got back a good chunk of what I lost, here, this thing is shooting up. And I am sort of just now kind of listening to what he's saying. We passed the high, this high, and we're going up. And around here, he was like, if some of y'all want to close, if you guys have that runner, that wouldn't be a bad, close. And I instantly closed it because I was like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, I'm I'm closing that. I moved my sup up to here, so I wouldn't have lost regardless. But I mean, it's just like, wow, I couldn't believe this move. So this with my R, I basically won around 1.5 Rs on this particular trade. So that's $600, and that saved me from this loss. And I don't know, doing that, leaving this runner, I'm like, man, I'm definitely going to implement that more. And I know that's such a basic thing. Maybe some of you are like, yeah, I don't know why you weren't doing that before. I don't know. It's just, I've never done it before. And I always thought it was so complicated too. Look at complicated things, but that really wasn't that bad. Got out there because I was like, okay, we're at the high, basically, it's fine. I don't know. I just couldn't hold all the way to this. But I'm pretty sure if I would have held all the way to the 10 on the daily, I think I would have passed this funded account. I don't know. I have to see, or I'd been right there. Another thing I want to point out that I have kind of hidden, let me kind of get this back. Earlier, I drew, let me make it a different color. Let's make it blue or something. I drew this channel, bigger down channel, at this point. I don't know. Actually, I don't even know why did I draw this like this? At first I had this channel, the top of this channel up here, but then I moved it down when I was in this trade to right here. It's kind of a dumb thing, but I left it like this for a while, and what I saw, and maybe you could see it, was sort of, it's we've been doing these pennant patterns lately. So yeah, let me just draw right here. We have this pennant forming. If you can see it here, it's coming up, coming down, coming up, coming down. And so I was like, okay, so this was trying to break down this pennant. And like I said, pennants, they fake a lot of times. So when we were coming back, so not only did we have this really nice hammer candle and bear reset candle, going to take out all this selling pressure right here with this volume, not only did we have that, but we were entering back. We're failing that retest of the pennant pattern to go, to keep going short. So we had all of that stacked up on the second trade, and I think that's the reason why it exploded. It exploded out of that pattern or channel, whatever you want to say. And if I did have this channel extended to this high here, again, we broke out of that as well, and now we're retesting this level. So we could come like that and come back up. That would be really good for the bulls. Anyways, I'm talking too much and I'm probably sounding so confusing and I'm sorry. But this is where my eval account is now. So I'm like $400 from passing. I think my game plan is if I pass this eval, which I definitely plan to, my plan on this PA account is I'm going to have a smaller R. Like right now, basically my R kind of varies from like 400 to like 470. But I think I'm just going to have a smaller R in this PA. Like I'm thinking like 300. That'll be my new R. So that I just, you know, kind of have a little bit more wiggle room in that PA account. But again, sorry if this was kind of a confusing video. Really all I did was I ended up basically playing my 10 EMA strategy. This one failed right here. This 10 EMA strategy reset candle failed, and I just got in here, you know, on this bear reset candle and just wrote it up. If you've watched this whole video, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.